So hello and welcome back to SJ Cartier Limited Combos. Today I'm going to be a bit different and go on to relationships and actually answer a question that has been asked to me numerous times. How have I actually made a relationship work? So first and foremost, I'm going to answer it with an honest answer and then I'm going to break it down. The honest answer is I'm a ladies man, so I know how to treat women with respect, love, and care. So first and foremost, that is it for me as a male's point of view, and of course you need that received from your woman as well. But I will say the main key things that have made our relationship work is the fact that we've kind of trusted each other and we've kind of, I'm going to say, we've made our relationship work within ourselves and not within a friendship group or within our family um, or family circle, I'd say. So, other than mothers, really, and children, we actually have not actually really socialized as much as we may have before with other friends or family. Some may say that is something quite lonely or sad, but I'd say it's quite where. What are you after? Are you after a load of friends and family for life, or are you after a partner for life? Because when your partner for life comes, you kind of have to change your lifestyle. So, as I said to you in my previous video, my mindset has changed, and a lot of my mindset has changed due to me actually being in a relationship and overstanding that now I am a man in a relationship, and as a man that actually ended up with my partner and she already had 3 kids from her previous relationship, I obviously had to change the way I was living and portraying because there is now younger adults and females in the house. So yeah, younger males and females in the house. So yeah, I've had to change my mindset for that. But I'd say a key component to that also is um, not believing what you hear straight away and taking the person that you believe you obviously have an attraction to and making it work for each other, not just for you, but for each other. So don't just get in a relationship because you fancy her and she looks, or even vice versa. Don't get in a relationship just because you, as a female, fancy the male. Yes, that is one of the first things and the main things we would say to start off with to gain that attraction. But you actually fall in love when you actually get to know the person inside and their heart, and you get to enjoy things together. You also get to go get sad together and angry together, even if it's at each other. So a lot of relationships sometimes split up because they argue. I was always taught growing up, if you don't argue or if you can't argue with each other at the start, there may not be too much care for each other because if you think about it, even as a friend, whether they're the same sex or not, you argue with your best friends more than you do the friends you don't really talk to. Reason you argue with your best friends more is because you actually care for your best friends more. So you will say things that may hurt more but come from more of a loving side and a caring side. And from the receiver, it feels like because I care for you more, you're supposed to care for me more. Hearing this from you may hurt me more, so I may then actually respond in a way that then causes fraction and causes an argument. But in the actual instinct, it was all about care. So getting out of a relationship because you argue, for starters, is not something that is, I'd say, recommended, because unless the argument is getting physical or it is actually getting overly too much for somebody's mental capacity at that time, then I don't think it is a reason to cut off a relationship at the start, because I am talking at the start. I would also say if you don't argue, then there is also an issue because there's no actual care for each other. And if you can't be honest with your partner about that thing you don't like, then you're not starting off on a very good foot. So I will say one of the other positive, one of the things that have made our relationship work, I'd say, is the fact I've been very open and honest with my partner. And I will say she's been very open and honest with me. Of course, there's things I will tell her now that she doesn't know about my life, and she may never know. But certain things are things that she doesn't need to know and are irrelevant to how we are now or how I am now. So those are things that are not needed because they're not things to bring up. There's things I've told her that some people don't really know, and to be honest, there's a lot of people that just don't know some of the things I have told her. But this is my soulmate, this is my partner, and understanding that being as open as possible with your other half, whether you are happy, angry, or sad, is also a very good strength to a relationship. I'll also say taking time for each other. So I'd say at the beginning, I'd say I've met a lot of females in my previous life, and I'd say a lot of females. Yes, I was kind of, as I said at the start, kind of think I was a ladies' man. So I used to meet a lot of women alone as well as with friends. But I'd say I feel like I come out of myself a lot more when I was with the women alone than I was when I was with the women with my friends. So I say the fact that we actually didn't do no sociable dating, let's say, like I think that also enhanced our relationship because our dating was solely between each other. There was no opinions from our friends or even thoughts that our friends had an opinions on what our relationship looked like or was going to be. And honestly, I'd say the very big positive thing of that is we didn't have no backbiting and we believed in what we saw right in front of our eyes. And that took time. That didn't take us deciding to spend an hour this week or spend this weekend, but then throughout the week we're doing our own thing. Yes, as I said in the previous video, I moved in, but previous to moving in, I spent a lot of time traveling to her and actually stayed in her house and hotels and wherever it was. So we spent a lot of time socializing. We went to comedy clubs, restaurant. So we spent a lot of time actually doing things together and getting to know each other together around people we don't know, where we can build trust and connectivity, not just around people we feel comfortable around. And
Can I just say
yeah,
as well, I think we have shown as well that we don't let, although we weren't around people, there were certain little comments, opinions
yeah,
from my side with my friends,
as well as mine,
so-called
I'd say,
friends.
as well as mine, I'd say as well. So
Yeah, and I think the thing strong with us as well is that we did not listen to those things. It was about us knowing each other for ourselves and not taking on what other people were saying, especially people who don't know us anyway and are just making opinions from the outside.
no, definitely.
Mm.
And I'll touch back on that as, pardon me, as it comes down to honesty from the start. Then, because I say for both points of views, if we both weren't honest with each other, maybe what was said to either of us may have turned something. But because we were open and honest to each other from the start and tried not to cover up anything, that helped us whenever the backbiting and the other words were put into our relationship. So that kind of helped us in that way.
Yeah.
Also, I say a very key component for our relationship is not to say that every relationship, as I say, anything I say on SJ Cartier Limited Convos is part of my life and my understanding of life via my journey. As I said on one of the videos, my partner is sitting here. She will jump in at times when she feels there's a point she would like to say or ask. And hopefully at some point you may see her sitting next to me. But yeah, so yeah, that's just to understand the relationship. But then I say a very key component for us, as I said, but may not be for you, is the fact we took ourselves actually away from both areas that we knew and took ourselves out into the countryside of Wiltshire within a year of living together.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Within a year of living together. So within a year of me moving in, had then moved out into our own house in the countryside, in the middle of actually both the areas that we're both from. So she's from London, I'm from Birmingham, and we now live in Wiltshire. So we've kind of took ourselves away and kind of tried to, as I said to her, restart our lives together. So also I will point out, because I have dropped in, look, I've said many times, and if you know me and follow me on social networks, you should be already aware that I am Muslim. So as a Muslim, like, we understand from a male point of view and a female point of view that when we actually become intertwined into a relationship, half of our deen actually is then brought to life. So whether that is now we have to care for another partner, we have to look after each other, and there's so many things we have to do for each other now, and even do for ourselves for the other half, to not be, what's the word, ashamed of her other half or ashamed of his other half. You've got to do things that are morally right, that keep your other half feeling proud of your. So little examples, that could be me just saying, you know what, you don't need to cook dinner today. So yeah, I understand. Yeah, you like to care and cook a lot, and but sometimes I need to care and cook for you and do that because I love you, and Allah has kind of willed for the man to actually take care of his woman and give her break and time and rest, whether she needs it, thinks she needs it or not. So those are things you have to do that you can't do without a partner. So understanding when you get into a relationship, you now have so many other things in your life that you actually have to live up to, because you now are in a relationship. And whether you got into the relationship with kids or not, you also now have kids or plan to have kids. So I'd say understanding also when you get in a relationship, your life does have to change, and that's for both of you. It's not for one person to change one thing and the other person ain't changing nothing. It's for both people to compromise with each other, take each other's past as past, and take each other's present and future as present and future. So yeah, I hope that answered the question of how we've made our relationship work. And thank you for joining SJ Cartier Limited Convos again today. Thank you and bye. Bye.